good.
Thanks for being Mr. Mopey Pants. Mr. Mopey Pants! Recorded on the eve of Christmas.
Which is the 24th of December.
2020.
2020.
The year that never was and the year that we'll always remember.
In this next song, you must march around the room. Here we go.
Hey, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Just sit down in the chair.
So cheers.
Cheers.
I explain this year, when I talk about it with people, I think this year is the quickest, slowest year ever.
How would you explain it to people who didn't live in this year?
The quickest, slowest year ever.
How? They wouldn't understand that. Someone born next year, in like 18 years' time, how would you explain the year that was?
I don't even know, man. This year was just...
Oh, we're on the beers again, by the way. We're on the beers again.
Well,
Happy
do
New
it.
Year.
Cheers.
Happy New Year.
And
Cheers.
Merry Christmas. I'll
And
have
Merry
to
Christmas.
tag Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks Brewery. You can only get it online here in SA, but do yourself a favour. Look, again, it's been a crazy year, and I think I'm just coming down off it now at the moment.
You're riding the wave.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain this year. It was
No.
just a mental year.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend yesterday, and we said, I still can't believe I had 9 weeks off, like, proper work.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still saw some clients here and there, but it was 9 weeks where I didn't go to the gym. Any gym. No, I haven't done that since 2002.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's mad.
It's been just a crazy year. So, obviously, today we're talking about the year that was.
The year that was.
And what was your little thing before?
Struggles and successes.
Absolutely.
Right. So we're at the end of the year now. We've finally come to the end of the slowest year that was the fastest year. What'd you say it was? The quickest, slowest year.
Slowest, quickest year.
The slowest, quickest year on record.
Now, by that I mean, I'll clarify why I say that.
Sure.
March came.
And then December came.
Well, it was sort of like, the reason I thought it was slow.
I'm just like, more.
See, January was nothing. January was normal.
No.
February was pretty much normal.
Yep.
March was the beginning of the whole thing, wasn't it? I can't remember the actual date, but March
And like mid to end March. I think it was like 29th or whatever it was.
March itself felt like it lasted a year on its own.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, December.
Yep. Yep.
Finally, when April came around,
Yep.
you're like, oh my God, finally it's here. You wake up the next morning and now it's Christmas Eve.
And I'm sure everyone listening and watching this has felt similar emotions
Yeah.
throughout the year. So
And maybe some more than others, because obviously we got back to work and things up and
people
running.
haven't gone back. Things have changed. People.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go into that too much because I'm sure you've seen that and heard about that and had the conversations thousands of times this year. What we do want to talk about: struggles and successes. I thought that alliteration.
Let's start with the struggles, because then we can finish on the high note.
Yeah, of course. I want to finish on a downer.
Well, okay.
It'd be fitting for the year that was though, but we're going to finish on a high.
It'd be fitting for the year that's coming to finish on the high.
Correct.
Go.
I see what you're doing. Oh, okay. Me go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Whew, mad struggles. Let's talk about start of the year was tough. Right. So personally, from like January to February was tough for me, because like personally I was going through some shit, right? And then March hit, and then December hit. So that was tough, right? And then coming out of that, basically went into March, right? And then obviously things that happened then.
You're so ambiguous right now.
Well, I'm so ambiguous. I went through like relationship breakup and all that kind of bullshit. And so then from that, it was like, then I got to like start seeing people and got to like other shit and other shit. And that kind of shit that rolls on like that. Yada, yada. That kind of crap. But then like March hit and we obviously went into the shutdown, gym shut. And so for a period there, I was like, it was stressful, as you know. And there was a point when I was like, we were coupled, like we talked about this. I was enjoying the time off. But there was a point when I was like, all right, well, what happens if this keeps going?
Yeah, because we ended up finishing earlier than we expected it to.
A lot earlier than we expected to, and like the government assistance came in and that was cool. So I wasn't really too like stressed about that kind of thing. But it did give me pause to reflect on how we move forward. So like this year for me, from a business sense and from a personal sense, has been a huge year of growth. Like, huge year of, like, mentally challenged in many different areas. And mentally, emotionally, psychologically challenged in a whole bunch of different areas. You know.
Do you want to elaborate on any of those?
Oh, I'm going to get into a little bit of them.
Okay.
You know, like, it's more about, like, reassessing where I'm at.
Yep.
And reassessing where I'm at in, like, in life. Reassessing where I'm at in, like, business. Am I happy here? Am I not happy here? Do I want to do something different? Like, where am I going? So obviously with the gym shutdown, I was like, all right, cool. Like we talked about in the identity episode, right? We talked about what's your identity, and I was like, you know, mine's not tied into being a gym owner. But that also then gave me pause to reflect on, okay, well, where do I want to, like, see myself, and how do I want to kind of move from that, you know? And so that's probably been my biggest year. Like, the biggest struggles for me have been around, like, professional sense.
Yep.
As in, you know, it was, I lie. There were some big struggles personally when we went into shutdown and I was living in my old place. There were some mad struggles there.
I can appreciate that.
Like mad struggles.
Because I experienced that little struggle just for a little bit, and that was a struggle for me.
So that was challenging, and that was probably my biggest struggle over the year personally. Was sort of working out how to work with someone in a living situation who's got, you know, I would say like depression or mental health issues or addiction, which I'd never experienced before. Yep. You know, I never experienced that type of in my face, in my sort of circle. So that was challenging. That was really challenging. And then obviously going through from that, realizing after we'd all come back from, you know, the gym was shut, I was thinking, reassessing like professionally where that was at. You know, I was like, okay, the first thing I need to do is get into a space, an environment that is conducive for myself to move forwards from the personal kind of things that I felt was, I say weighing me down. It wasn't really weighing me down. It's kind of holding me back from being able to do what I wanted to do because I was too busy focused on other things, you know.
So you decided to put on your big boy pants?
Big boy pants! And moved out again.
Wow.
Moved out. No, so I've been living with like housemates for fucking years, you know, partners, housemates. And the last time I lived by myself would have been maybe 9 years ago. And so then went back into that situation where I got my own apartment, living by myself now, and it is amazing. It's my space, you know.
There's nothing better than your own space.
Yeah.
Where you do what you want to do, set it up how you want to set it up.
Yeah.
I obviously live with someone, but this room here,
is Murph's room.
My room.
It's Murph made room.
I walk in here. She's allowed in every now and then. She does a little bit on the desk here and there, but this is
Sometimes I give her the key.
Exactly.
She can come in.
I'm in trouble for that one. If you look around the room, it's very much it's my room. I just, even though it's very much based around, you know, study, there's obviously computers behind this camera, it's very study based, I feel very relaxed. It's very chilled in here. So I get the whole own space thing, it's pretty important.
Yeah, so the house I was in, I had a couple of housemates, and it was like a rolling kind of house, you know, so there's no lease terms, whatever, you roll out, other people come in, out of the rooms, whatever. I've been about 11 people there over the last 5 or 6 years, you know, so for various reasons. So there's a lot of shit around, people's belongings. I went through this huge process of minimizing all my shit. So it was really cool because I had a lot of stuff in the house. Moving into the house, I moved in from a friend's house where I had a whole bunch of other shit. And then I moved into a friend's house where I had like a room and then like basically half a lounge room, which was amazing. Let me have some of that. Then moved to this house, which was a 3x3 room, and I got a little bit of space for 2 bookcases and my DJ gear in the back of it. And then going from that to where I'm at now, was cool because I was like, all right, cool. I'm only going into a studio apartment. What do I actually need? You know, what do I actually need? And that was actually that was probably a success this year. You know, going through that process. Like, I very much want that things don't happen to you. You know, you happen to things. Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? And that's how I kind of... You make your own goods and bads. Yeah, you know, it's just things happen and then you put a framework around them. And so when I was in the house and going through the situation with Housemate, it was very challenging. And because I never experienced that sort of stuff before. And then realizing, okay, hang on, I need to have my own space again. in order to then, that allowed me to then flip and flip on top of the business and be like, all right, where am I at? Think about these sorts of things. What do I want to do? How do I get there? Blah, 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 blah. That was a positive.
Yeah.
You know, that was a positive because I'm like, all right, cool. I know that when I go to my house, it's only shit that I want in there. You know, and go through that. So that was a success from the struggle. Linking the two together.
Which is how it should be.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah.
Which is how it should be, you know. I realised, you know, the business-wise, so struggle was when we went into shutdown, I lost two trainers, pretty much, because, like, Em went home for a bit. Nikki left and did her thing. Elle was still doing her thing. She works at aged care, so she was still doing her thing. It was, like, fantastic. But then coming back, I had to then go back into, I wasn't running any classes. I wasn't doing any gym shifts. Prior to the end of last year, I was doing all PT, all coaching, and then teams. Yep. You know, I had to go focus on that. And then coming back into it, I came back into all gym shifts, all classes, everything. Yep. You know, and it was a lot of hours, you know. But it was good because I then got to reconnect with my members. You know what I mean? So, struggle, success. I'm like how this is going now.
You like this?
And then from that, like, obviously coming to now, end of the year, I look back on it and be like, cool. As a whole, the year was a huge success for me. You know, in order to sort of clear up shit that you cleared up, you go through some shit and you're like, oh, you know, I know how to process and deal with this. I feel like the personal situations I was in sort of last year and coming into this year definitely set me up well for what happened this year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like emotionally I'm a lot more available. Is that the word? More aware of my emotions. You
improved your EQ.
I improved my EQ, I think. I feel like I have. I feel like I've definitely improved my EQ. I'm able to communicate a lot better, which is what I've been told many times this year. I'm like, you know what? That's fantastic. Success.
How's your arms going?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not the best because I still say them from time to time, but
be human.
We're human,
yeah.
You know. So I'm working on that. This has been good. We've done the podcast regularly.
Yeah, been a bit more consistent this year.
A lot more consistent.
Other than the 9 weeks we couldn't really leave home.
Correct.
Or visit houses.
Correct. We managed to get ourselves on Spotify, iTunes. That was all this year. Cheers to us.
Cheers to us.
Cheers to us.
Nothing my taste.
Got that happening. Got the new logo done.
We did.
Like,
yeah,
I feel we built up. Shit's built up.
Yeah.
So that's basically where it's at. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really look at it and be like, okay, this was super negative, then this was super positive, this was super negative. It was like, it is what it was.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming out of that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of like airy-fairy ambiguity, but that's how I feel. I got more clarity on next year. Like, we'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
But personally, there were some huge highs and lows. Professionally, it was kind of like that. So it was like a straight line, and then it was like high. It started to go up. Because it didn't really, it's like, you just work with it, ebbs and flows of the business.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's
just
part of it, isn't it?
It's part of it, you know, so you don't really go, this is a super low, this is a super high. It's just like, it is, and now it's something different.
Yeah.
You know, you work with it. It's what your passion is. And then, like I said, like, personally, it was ups and downs, but I managed to maintain that stability through what I wanted to do and work through that. Mindset change, which was fantastic. I think that's been a positive. And then now going into next year, I'm like, cool, building upon what I've thought about, how I've sort of modified and changed what I've done this year across all areas. I think next year should be positive, regardless of what happens.
Yep.
Unless Armageddon occurs, I feel like I'm set.
COVID Mark II.
Don't even fucking don't. You know what? No, dude, because if it happens, I'm set.
Exactly.
I'm not even worried about it. Zombie apocalypse or some type of world war. Okay, that's fucked.
Just quickly, zombie apocalypse. What's your weapon?
Baseball bat.
Yeah, samurai sword.
You've thought about this before, haven't
you? There's no ammo, it never runs out.
Well, I don't know why I thought of baseball bat. When you said it, I was sipping this. Like, I thought stick of wood. I thought shaped stick of wood, baseball bat. Yeah.
My security system in this house, be aware,
samurai
is
sword.
I wish.
Just under the bed.
Wish. Fijian war stick.
Fijian
it's like the
war
Fijian
stick?
baseball bat, but for heads. It's great.
Oh, wow.
Legit.
Wow.
Seriously.
The thing is, I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Imagine me charging down the hallway, half naked with that in my hands. turn around and get the fuck out of my home.
I'm just picturing you trying to run halfway down your hallway. That's a lot of cardio for you.
I need a bike generally for my cardio. Imagine me riding half naked now. Too much information. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
My turn.
Your turn.
This year. See, I haven't had too many... I can't say that the personal side of things has been bad at all for me this year. Quick take back.
Okay. Backsies. Take backsies.
So, obviously, which you mentioned before, the identity... what's
episode.
What do we call it?
As an episode.
Yeah, okay, got that. The identity episode was mainly based around me moving on from the Sixers. And that was the personal thing for me. Yes, it's very career-based as well. But for me, I was, as I said, for 4 years I was with the Sixers. Now I'm not. How was I going to deal with that? How did I deal with that? And so on. So for me, that was the big... I wouldn't say it's a negative, but it was just something I had to go through.
Yep.
And build upon. But... we're going to do the flip here
we're
as well.
We're going to struggles and successes.
This big success out of that was I was really able to find a way through some help from yourself to grow the business a lot more. And find not so much a new demographic, but get deeper into the demographic that I was sort of dabbling in before. And really find a good business model around that, which has been fantastic.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Like, what have you and or how have you then adapted and gone deeper into your business model?
So really, obviously, before I was purely with the professional athletes in teams already, in a team, I was with that team, working with them. So now it's very much based around, I'm accessing the kids, really, because they're between, what's my youngest, 14, just turned 15, up to...
What's that?
Sediment. It's normal, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
We call it a yeast bomb.
The yeast bomb.
Yeast bomb.
It's got a yeast bomb.
Up to my oldest at the moment is 21. And so these guys are coming up. So they're top level athletes, are in state leagues, they're in NBL 1, they're in Division 1 under 18 teams that are now the next sort of evolution into the professional basketball world. And that's where I've started tapping into more so.
Okay.
So looking into Basketball SA, getting sort of information on what kids are coming through, being the main go-to guy for those kids coming through to
big boss.
Big boss.
Big boy.
Exactly.
Big boy pants.
So that's my big boy pants. You moved out.
I moved out.
And I went in.
You went in.
Into deep into basketball.
Big boy pants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously just not being with the Sixers, a lot more time is freed up to be able to do that. Whereas I didn't have that time before. I've got that time now. So that's been good. That's been good. So I guess the downside, lost the Sixers. Upside, found some more business.
Things happen. Things happen and then you make them what they are.
And that was our show, Pivoting. That's exactly what that is.
Bang, exactly.
The pivot across the other side. So that was cool there. So that's pretty much the only real personal thing I went through is that identity crisis, sort of figuring out where I want to go next. Business-wise, I guess it goes in the same thing hand in hand there. That was the business side of things as well. Found new hobbies. That was cool. We talk pretty regularly about the stock market now. Trading.
Yes.
Which has been cool.
Yes.
So, and that's thanks to COVID, right? That's thanks to... So purely at the beginning of... Within the first 2 weeks of COVID, I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? I might spend some money on trades. Why not? Sitting here doing nothing.
Speaking of going deep into things, we went deep into that.
I'm sitting here doing nothing, earning no money. Let's put some money on trades.
Let's sit here, do nothing, and try and earn money.
Exactly. Pivot.
Yep.
Find a way to earn money in another direction, another avenue, because there's no gyms. So found a way into the trade market.
Yeah.
Look into that and...
I don't know why I forgot about that.
Yeah, right. So that's our other discussion of conversation. We got sports science, strength conditioning, beer,
and
motorbikes have started recently
motorbikes.
as well.
I bought a motorbike.
A motorbike, and stock market.
And the stock market.
So
I forgot about that.
And that's been cool. It's a whole new. I didn't think I'd get into that anytime soon. So COVID sort of
pushed you in.
Nudged me into
I
direction.
made some fantastic trades around COVID time. I had a bit of think about the year ahead, what it would be like March, April. I was like, oh, what's going to be needed I like it. The reason I like the stock market idea of things is because it allows you if you're doing your research into it, you're looking into the future or trying to predict the future.
Yeah.
Or trying to see what the future pathway looks like for things.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. And that's what I found super interesting because all of a sudden I'm researching shit in like DeFi, like what's it called? Finance, deregulated finance. I'm looking at things in, fintech, so finance tech. I'm looking at things in fucking health and pharmaceuticals. Looking at things in like science and technology that I wouldn't normally look at.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is sick. Like, this is a interest of mine. I actually did say the other day, I think was I telling you? I think I was telling you, where if I wasn't in the gym and wasn't doing S&C and it wasn't my passion, I would be doing that.
Yeah, I think it had our Murph and My Ty's Christmas show.
At the Christmas show. That was epic, by the way.
Just two of us.
Just two. Murph and Marta's Christmas show was Murph and Marta's having some beers and some cocktails. Yeah, it was fantastic. But yeah, so it was that. It was that. And I was like, you know what? I can actually see myself doing this because I like the research side of things. I like looking into things and then putting money on what I think may happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not for me.
What's your thing?
See, I'm not a big research person.
I know you're not.
Like, I'll do it if I need to. Like, if there's something come up in our strength conditioning world, I'm like, you know what, I want to know more about it if I'm interested. I'm not someone to go, you know what, I might just do some research.
Yeah, I'm a mad researcher. I'm on ComSec, right? I'm looking up shit. Then I've got like 3 different mailing lists I'm on now. I'm in a Facebook group. The whole shit is going bonkers.
See, I follow a Twitter.
Yep.
But
you follow a Twitter?
A Twitter. Just see, that's the level I'm at.
You follow a Twitter.
That's me in Twit world.
So my mum going, where's the Facebook? Like, what? Okay, go on. You follow a Twitter.
A Twitter.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you know, most of my information comes from Ben.
Yep.
Ben Wolford at Astute Wealth. Plug.
I think wouldn't even watch the show.
But now if I tell him I just mentioned his business, he might. Plug.
Oh, fair enough.
So he's my client, so he gives me some little tips here and there, and that's what I go by. I'm just not.
I give you tips.
You give me. I've actually take some of your tips. I'm down, but I've taken them.
Taking the wrong tips. Then I'm doing well.
Maybe I bought too late, and I think, but that's what I like. I like the challenge of it.
Yeah.
So as you know, I'm a challenge based. I like competition. I like the challenge. And just like finding out some things are going to work and what doesn't work.
But how do you find that out if you don't research it?
Well, that's exactly right. That's my next step. That's the evolution of Murph in the...
Murph 21.
Exactly. And that'll be the success that I'm yet to experience, but will. But the whole reason I got into the trade market was because I wanted to find new avenues.
Yeah.
Find new ways, because business is cool. I like the business side of things. I'm enjoying dabbling in different areas and evolving in that. But I'm not a huge fan. I'm not ready to, don't know which way it is yet, go into the property market.
Yeah. I laugh.
Just seems like a lot of... I'm not going to go into it because that's not this kind of podcast. But
say what you're going to say. Say it.
Seems just like a lot of money to put into something where the return is so far away.
Yep.
When you can put...
If there is a return.
If there is a return. When you only need $500 in the stock market, where you need 10% of the whole deposit, which is going to end up, or 20% even. You need 80 grand.
Too much.
$500, 80 grand. I can enter now, whereas I've got to save the other stuff. Anyway, not so. So I thought, you know what, get into it now. So I think I've like quadrupled my money that I've actually invested, not made, invested since the beginning of... Quadruple my money I've invested into the stock market.
Big bullshit.
Yeah. So, and I'm just enjoying it.
So you made $2 grand.
No, invested, not made.
I've
quadrupled the amount I've invested into it. So I started with this much. Now I'm on this much.
That's what I'm saying. So you said like you start with $500, so now you're on $2,000. So you made $1,500.
No, I haven't made. I put more in. So now I'm down because I put more into it.
Oh, so you...
So to say I put 1,000 in, now I put 4,000 in.
Oh, okay. So you put more money in and you're losing money.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do some research.
Well, most of the stuff is like, so Ben give me some little punts. I'm like, you know what, I like a punt. Let's see what happens. Let's go for that. And other stuff is like Flight Center. COVID time is pretty shit. Once COVID time disappears, Flight Center.
This is not a stock podcast. Don't take Murph tips right now. Okay, do your own research. Do your own research if you're going to invest.
You take Murph tips. Don't flight center.
Dabbling.
Yeah.
We're dabbling.
So we're playing around.
So you found the hobbies in the stock market.
And hobbying downhill mountain biking.
That's
That's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
A few cuts and bruises, but we're all good. I'm
Yep.
still alive. We're having fun there. But yeah, that's been like the main... And just now looking to the next chapter of Murph. Where I want to go next. Do I want to just stay in the business? Which is a no. I don't want to just stay in business.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back into pro sport and just finding ways to get back into
like getting as in working for someone.
working for teams. I always want to have the business around. I do like... And I think I found that it's something that's ignited my passion again further in the private sector, working with athletes. I do enjoy the one-on-one stuff.
Yep.
And with the younger athletes now, I'm really enjoying that. It's quite good fun. So I'm always going to have that there, but I do want to get back into the pro sports side of things again and have fun there.
What does Murph 2021 look like? Put it out now. Before we hit the new year, like we got New Year's coming up very, very soon. All right, Murph 2021. What's the evolution?
I guess the other thing in 2020 was I finished my degree.
You did. We'll chat about that another time.
That's another conversation. So that was cool that it's finished. 2021 is the masters.
No.
So I'm doing that. So there's study.
Have you been accepted yet?
Well, I've got an unconditional offer, which they were waiting for my transcript, official transcript, which I just sent in.
Okay.
Then I get my I don't get my unconditional offer. I've got a conditional offer so far.
Oh, conditional offer.
Yeah, conditional offer so far based on the transcript. Transcript now in. Waiting to get the unconditional. So it's soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So yeah, masters next year. Business wise, I need to sit down and go through that. I haven't had a proper think about that yet.
That's all right, man.
That's my. See, I always use this break. So I'm on holidays as of last night.
Holla.
So now I've got 11 days off where I can do the whole Christmas family thing, wind down, then wind back up, ready for next year. Yeah. And that's where I start to. All right, this is the direction I want to start to go by.
Sick.
Which hasn't changed a lot from last year.
What do you want to do different next year?
Probably research my trades more.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I like that one. That's cool.
What do I want to do different?
What do you want to do different next year from what you've done this year or in the past years? What's the evolution look like? What's that next step?
Wouldn't mind getting a bit more of a business model, like structure around the business. That's something I don't. I'm not very good business minded.
Are we gonna have some time in this 11 days to chat?
I think we will.
Yeah.
So, I run a business, and the business is doing well. Clients are coming in. Marketing is okay. I think the biggest reason I'm successful in business at the moment is because of the name I've been able to establish.
No.
Because of my brand, because of being with the Sixers and being in sport and having the amount of time I've had in this industry is the reason I'm able to...
You've just been around.
I've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Cool. And I've got good results. So people are like, go to Murph because...
Good results.
Great results.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's why I'm able to keep going, keep pushing forward. But I think I'd like to build a structure around it to now take it to the next level again.
How so? What does that look like? What do you mean build a structure around it?
I don't know yet. So that's
do you feel like you don't have any structure around your business?
Not really much at all, no.
Okay.
I just sort of, clients come in, I train my clients, more clients come in, I train those clients. It works. It works to this point, but now I think I need to evolve. I need to put my big boy pants on.
Your big boy business pants on!
Exactly.
Okay, I like this.
Especially because now I'm getting known more in other areas. So
like not the stock market.
No, definitely not the stock market.
You're getting known more as in other areas in S&C.
In S&C, yeah. So football's starting to know of me a little bit more now. Basketball's getting bigger, broader again, which is great. So I think I need now just start putting things in because if so happens that I just get too busy and I bring someone on, they need to follow my system, and I don't have a system for them to follow yet.
Yes, I get you. I was just about to ask, what does that business structure, also business evolution, look like in that regard? You know what I mean? Like you say you don't have any structure at the moment. What does that look like, that first step, right? And so if that's like, okay, cool, well, I can predict I might get busier. Therefore, my time is going to be extremely limited. But if I hire someone, I've now got 48 hours in a day rather than 24.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm sort of not far off that point where I can't get any more clients in these time slots.
Yep.
The time slot, I got obviously more time in the day, but
You like
if
to
clients
relax.
can't do it, and I like to relax. If clients can't get in that time slot, then they need this time slot.
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
takes
yeah,
them, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the thing with our industry, is like we've got morning, evening, and afternoons are sort of a bit
Depending
tougher.
on the people, Yep.
So those time slots are getting booked up for me now.
Yep.
So I need that other person to come in at some stage, not yet, at some stage, to open up more time slots.
Have you thought about how you would start to set up the system then? What that might look like? As in like, okay, because I ask because I'm going through the same sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've got a lot more experience like managing people and working with people and having people work for me.
Yep.
So I asked that because I know that I'm going through a similar thing at the moment. So I've just hired like 3 new people. Right? Or I say hired. I'm basically looking at. I've put out about casual S&C roles where you need to have a minimum of this many hours a week with me. 1 hour to work with teams and 1 hour for development. Right? That's what I've said. And now I'm looking at going from we've got 3 working at the moment, going into now 6 working.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I'm going through, all right, cool. How do we then put a system around what I do? So when they go out to their teams and when they go out to clubs, when they go out to see athletes, when they talk to people, it's all come under that brand without being exclusive to the brand. I'm not saying to them you have to be exclusively monetized. But what I'm saying is when you are monetized, this is how you run it. And you need to represent. Hopefully that then extends across to what they're doing.
Yep.
You know, and so that's really interesting for me right now.
That's pretty much where I'm at, is if I had took someone on and I sent them out to go do some work for me, they would do something different to what I would do.
Yeah.
And other than me just writing a program and saying, do it, I'd rather have, this is the system, you create something based on the system.
Yeah.
I want to start training trainers, coaches to be their own coach.
Yep.
Following my guidelines, my
Protocols
systems.
and guidelines. So that's
Exactly.
exciting. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Which is, again, it's the whole thing of building our industry.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to follow my word for word. I want to go, here's what I believe and here's the structure I put around my clientele to this point. There's been, what did we say before? Great results. It's achieved great results. I want you to start to figure out how you can make it work in your own way.
Better.
Yeah.
And that I've noticed, what's been really exciting for me is with M, all right, Condon, over the last 4 months, could be close to 5 months now, every week we've committed to a time to sit down, we have a coffee, we chat.
Yep.
And I just talk at her, basically, and she just takes it on board. Right? She takes on what she wants to take on board, she doesn't know what she doesn't want to take on board, and go from there. And basically the plan was to help her build her business through what she's been doing, and that's the EC Advantage stuff.
Yep.
You know, and we put a structure around things, and we would experiment with things, and we'd try things. It's really cool to see how she's now starting to come into her own through what she's doing. She's exploring other avenues of coaching. She's exploring other avenues of marketing and advertising and putting herself out there more. It's really, really cool to see. And I'm like, cool. Well, like for me, that was a test. You know, I've never challenged myself to that point where I've gone, let's do this and put my word and my integrity in your hands. If I tell you something and you're going to do it and it fucks up, that's on me.
That's on you.
You know, and so I'm kind of like, this is like, this feedback loop is really, really cool to see. And so I'm excited for that for next year. I'm kind of looking to step into, for 2021 for me, it's like, I'm looking to step into like evolve, as you said, constant evolution basically. But the way I'm looking to do that is to evolve to a point where I have got that system, working with people, and I've gone, cool, here's what I can provide, the structure around what you're doing. Same thing, go and do it.
Yep.
You know. So I've taken to the next level just when I've just hired these coaches, where I've just sent them all a personality quiz.
Yep.
All right, basic, but like do this because this is going to allow me to understand how you think, how you work, and then I've got to then understand how I can then work with their strengths and weaknesses, their personalities, their learning styles, all that stuff to help build that structure around them. You know, it's no point in me trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to work out, okay, cool, before I want them as coaches, I want them as people and understand the people before I then provide the system. Like if they can trust me and I can trust them and we understand each other as people, then it's easier to then build that system and say, oh, here's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
And communicate that in a way that is effective. So that's super exciting. I'm pumped, man.
Pumped.
I'm pumped for 2021.
2021. Let's get rid of 2020.
Yes, you know
Although,
what?
but the same, as we said, there's been a lot of
Let's
success.
accept 2020 for what it was.
There's been a lot of success in this year as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of success and there's been a lot of hardship, but I think you have to look at it from a very. I think about things like Stoicism, right? I follow a lot of Stoic philosophy, and you got to look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
Things happen. However you perceive them, and what you perceive of that thing happening, is how you're gonna view it. You know, and if you go around viewing things as shit things are gonna keep happening because that's how you're viewing it.
Yep.
You know.
I think at the end of the day, we came out of that 9-week quarantine.
Shutdown.
That's what they call it. Shutdown.
Yeah, shutdown.
With work.
Yeah.
So a lot of other people didn't. So I think, I am very grateful for that fact that I've come out of it and I'm better than I was beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that whole time of just being shut out of home, being shut into home, figuring things out, letting my mind just run wild and then chill out and then run wild and play some PlayStation and chill out and run wild. Do all that sort of stuff. Where I was like, I like my PlayStation. Where I could then go, okay, it sort of remotivated me to then get back into the business side of things. Mm-hmm. So when we got let back out in the gyms, business was good. Business was good.
We were good to go. What? To finish off, I thought this was going to be great. If you had to give people one piece of advice for them going into 2021.
You almost broke into something I'm going to ask you in another future episode, but you haven't done it, so I can save it. Continue.
I want to know now. I'm asking now. I hope you keep that on board and remember that. So what advice would you give to people going into 2021 from your experiences learned this year? Go.
Wow. You go first, and I'm going to...
I'll ask you the question.
We're not going to have this silent break.
We are going to have as long as it takes.
We should get some music playing. We'll just...
A lot of people think I'm the one that has to have like shit happening. Just trying to fill up the silence.
What advice would I give to someone going to 2021?
Yeah, from your experiences this year. You're trying to give advice to someone for next year? Hey.
I think look for ways to pivot. Look for ways that if something's not working out, look for another way to make something else work or that work in a different way. Mm. And then it'd probably be, and that's something I've done ever since, like, we had the discussion, remember that discussion we had on the Christmas party? How I went through 2 big times in my life where I was like, broke. I think I've been doing that ever since then. Where something hasn't happened the way I wanted it to or expected it to or planned for it to, and all of a sudden pivoted to do a different thing. I think don't just settle for it didn't work. Go, okay, it didn't work. How can I make it work differently next time, or what can I do to then put in place of that instead? Mm-hmm.
Mine would be almost exactly the same in less words. Things happen.
Which is generally the other way around for
us. I know, right? So mine would be things happen, keep moving. That's it.
Same thing, less words.
I'm so glad I nailed that.
You did well.
Well, look, we wish all of you Happy New Year. We're going to say this right now. Happy New Year. We will be back in the new year with some new shit.
With new shit.
We got some new shit coming.
No trades.
No trades. No negative trades. I mean, look at that positive growth.
No trade tips.
No trade tips.
Go to Ben Wolf.
And if you've got... I like the feedback on the episodes as well. We got some shit coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. Have a great new year. Look after yourselves. We'll see you 2021.